Hey, what's up everybody? How's it going? Back with another Vinyl Finds video. Can you believe it so soon? I know, it's crazy. The top 10 is still not finished. It's coming. Who freaking knows? Yeah, anyway. I've got some time off from work this week and had some home projects planned to work on, but got a lot of them done yesterday, and I was talking to my wife this morning about some of the smaller stuff I could do, and I said I was also thinking about maybe going to St. Louis, but I don't know. She was like, no, do that. Go record shopping a day. Take a day and just have a day off to be and go shopping and do something you like to do. So the gods blessed me today, so I went record shopping. I figured if the vinyl gods had blessed me with the day to shop, maybe there was something waiting in the bins for me, and there was. So anyway, I went to Vintage Vinyl and just literally got back less than 10 minutes ago and thought I'd shoot a video, show you what I picked up. Here it is. I haven't even taken them out of the bag, so we'll do an unbagging here. But it had been a long time since I had been at Vintage Vinyl. I had not realized how long it had been. The way I go, I take Clayton Boulevard, and then you turn onto Delmar, which is the street Vintage Vinyl is on. In the past, as I'm driving down Clayton, you kind of get on autopilot and you kind of look for landmarks. It's like, oh, I got to turn here. This is Delmar. And there was always a gas station at the corner of Clayton and Delmar. And I'm coming up to it, and I'm like, there's no gas station here. There's a big building here. Is this right? And I was like, that's Delmar. I'm turning here. Yeah, since I had been to Vintage Vinyl, they had torn this gas station down and built a building that's basically half a block long. There's a CVS on the corner and a bunch of office space in the rest of the building. I had no idea. So that's how long it had been since I had been there. But it was a pretty good day. I will say it was like I was halfway through my usual strategy for shopping at Vintage Vinyl. I hit the A to Z rock section first. I literally go A to Z, try to look at just about everything they've got. And I was about halfway through. It was like at the L's or M's or something. And I was like, I'd found a couple things that were cheaply priced, and I was like, I'm not finding anything good. Nothing that's getting me excited anyway. I want that like exciting record, and I kind of was like, please let there be a really good record today, and we'll get there. There was one of those moments. So I'm gonna take these out, and let's see here. We'll go in alphabetical order because that's how I kind of found them. I'm going to show you everything I got too. Some of the stuff I bought to flip because the prices were just too good. Oops, there's the receipt. First, I was in the B's. Get to the Blue Cheer section. Vincibus Eruptum for $9.99. I've got a copy, but this might be an upgrade copy for me. I'm going to check and compare, and whatever one's not as clean is going to go to the record store. Couldn't leave that in the bins for $10. And for $7, new and improved Blue Cheer, and I'm positive that this is a nicer cover than mine. I think mine's got a little water damage on the bottom. The record's got one long scuff on it, but it wasn't feelable, so it might play okay, but I think my vinyl copy is nice, but at least an upgrade cover for me for $7. And then I got to the D's, and this was in there for $4.99. I've got a nice copy that I paid like $20 or $25 for, but for a $5 copy, I could not leave it behind. And kind of like that Blue Cheer, there's one long scuff across the whole, one whole side, but it's not feelable, so I'm hoping it plays okay. This will probably go to the record store or something, I don't know. It was just one I can't leave it behind for $5. So pick that up, and then that's kind of when I was like, all right, man, I hope there's something good out there. I want there to be, a really good deal. And I get to the S's, and this was a pretty good deal. Shadows of Night Gloria, $4.99. And it's perfectly clean. I have no idea why this was so cheap. I'll show you the label here. Doing this on the fly. Dunwich, it's very, very clean. I still am not really sure why they had this at $4.99. I'm seeing, there's a little scratch there. Doesn't look that bad though, and I almost dropped it. That would have been terrible. So, again, for $5, I've got a copy, but couldn't leave it behind, and we'll compare and see which one's cleaner and keep the upgrade and dump the other one. And then this last one that was in the rock section, I'm just not sure about this. It is Gene Vincent. Gene Vincent Rocks and the Blue Caps Roll, $6.99. Almost looks like it's in one of those like library covers, right? But it's the whole record is like this. I don't know how to describe it. Like, even the inside is laminated. So I think it came this way. And if you look at the back, that light is just so freaking bright coming in through that window. But it's in Japanese. It's got, the English lyrics, but there's parentheses for the song titles that are in Japanese, and it's Tokyo Shibara Electric Co. Limited, 1,500 yen. I looked it up on Discogs when I was in the store, and it looks like it's an original press, like a 1958 or 59, whatever year this came out, but they also released it in Japan. So I don't know if this was typical of the time to have it in this kind of like a laminated cover, or if this was literally like a library thing or kind of an archival thing, but the cover is very nice, and it's $6.99 right there on the price tag. It's on the kind of teal capital label there, and it's mono. There are some scratches on it. This is definitely VG. It's not super clean, but it's not that bad either. And for $6.99 for a Gene Vincent record, I couldn't pass it up. There's like one person that has this on Discogs, one person that wants it for this particular pressing. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more research and see if I can figure out what exactly it is. And I just noticed too, shoot, maybe that's why it was so cheap, because it's supposed to be a 2 LP. And there's only one record. Yep. So there you go. I did not pay that much attention in the store because I was just flabbergasted at the price and trying to figure out what pressing this is. I'm almost positive this is supposed to be a 2-record set, but maybe not. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 song? No, so that's... No, it's not. I don't know. I gotta do more research. Freaking, who knows? This is raw and unedited, straight out of the store. So there you go. There's my incoherent rambling. And maybe it's just like the first LP of a 2 LP set. I don't know, for some reason I was thinking it was a double LP set, and it says 2LP-49 is the catalog number, so I don't know. It's not really my thing. I'm not like a big 50s rock collector, but Gene Vincent, I couldn't pass it up for $7. And even if it's just the first LP of it, for $7, it'll be a fun listen. So, alright, I looked it up. I'm dropping this in. I looked it up. It's a single LP. It's just the catalog number is 2 LP. So ignore the ravings of a lunatic that just went on. It's a single LP. There you go. Those were my rock A to Z finds. Nothing mind-blowing. Some solid stuff. Some good deals. Then I go to the jazz section, hit up the A to Z there, and I just kind of hit the main jazz guy. Coltrane, Miles Davis, Ornette Coleman. The big ones. The big names, Herbie Hancock. Didn't find anything in the jazz section, so then I go to the country section because they also have folk records in there, and sometimes you find something in there. Didn't find anything in there. Went to the blues section. There was a John Lee Hooker and a Lead Belly record that I was kind of like, one of each that I was kind of looking at. I ended up passing on them. They were just a little too much for me. And I rarely look at the soundtracks there. I kind of forget that they have a soundtrack section. It's tucked away in the corner. And today I was like, I'm going to look in the soundtracks. I've got time to kill. Pardon me. And I'm glad I looked through it because this is where I found the gems. Let's see. Alright. We'll do it like this. First up, in the bees. I looked at the jazz and didn't find anything, and then I went to the soundtrack and found Herbie Hancock's Blow Up soundtrack. 2 copies. One for $9.99 and one for $14.99. I got 2 because I think my friend Josh has been looking for this record and would like a copy. So I've got a copy for me and a copy for him. Super clean on both of them. Again, I don't know why one was 10 and one was 15, because to me the $15 copy was a little bit rougher than the $10 copy. So Herbie Hancock composed total 60s vibe and sound to that record. It's a fun listen for kind of a dark movie, and yeah, it was pretty cool to find that in the soundtrack bins. And then came across a copy of The Exorcist 2. It's a horror soundtrack. I figured I'd pick it up, and it was cheap too, $7. A Ennio Morricone soundtrack. This goes for a little bit more online, like 15 to 20. So $7 in the shrink wrap felt like a good deal for a Morricone horror soundtrack. And then this is one I knew they had a couple copies of the last time I was there a couple years ago, and I was hoping they still had it. And I think this is a different copy than the 2 they had. This is the only one I found, but it's better than the copies they had before. It's $7, in the shrink wrap, Chad and Jeremy's soundtrack for Three in the Attic. Kind of a, sexploitation, kind of softcore sex romp thing from the late 60s, early 70s, but it does have Paxton Quigley's Had the Chorus and Paxton's song, which I think were on the Ark, Chad and Jeremy's The Ark record, and then side 2 is called Background Music, written by Chad Stewart. It's a sidelong just soundtrack to the movie, so a cheapie. It's not worth a whole bunch. I want to say like $15 online, so but I'm big on that Chad and Jeremy of this era, and this will be kind of that third in their trilogy of kind of dipping their toes into psychedelia, so that was cool. But the big one, the find in the tease, and there's a story behind this. The 31 Flavors hair. I let out an audible gasp when I saw it and said out loud, yes! So luckily I was in the corner by myself and nobody was around, otherwise I would have been super embarrassed. But this is kind of a psychploitation record. It is, you get a couple songs from the Hair soundtrack, Aquarius Let the Sunshine In. You've got Hair. Protest may be on the Hair soundtrack, I'm not sure. But then you have some just instrumental tracks. Free Fuzz, Real Far Out, Free Drum, and Distortions of Darkness, which are like fuzzed up, heavy, loud, Hendrix-esque kind of psych instrumentals, and they are so good. The last track is Distortions of Darkness, but the one where it really kicks in is that first kind of instrumental track, Free Fuzz. Oh, it's just so good. It's on Crown Records. This was $7. This is not a cheap record. It's on Crown, and look at that. It's in beautiful condition. The record is very clean. I've got a little bit of curiosity about it, and I'll get to that in a second, but probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point, I was at a record show in St. Louis, and was looking through Dead Wax Records' booth. They had a booth where they were selling stuff for like 3 for $10, getting rid of a lot of their overstock and cheapies. And myself and Brian and Sam and those guys were friends, or at least friendly, with Jeremy and Jake of Dead Wax Records. And I had a really good stack going. And he came by, his wife was manning the booth, and he said, hey, give him a deal when he checks out, give him a little bit better price than 3 for $10. So I think I ended up paying like $1.50 or $2 a record. This was in his bins, and I pulled it out and was like, man, this seems familiar. Like, why does a Hair soundtrack, that I thought at the time was like, why does this seem familiar? Maybe it's just because the naked lady on the front or something, I don't know. But I ended up putting it back, and I didn't get it. It was not in great shape either, but I put it back, and I get home later that day, and curiosity got the best of me, and I look it up on Discogs and was like, of course, it's like a $60 record that I just put away, and of course it's sight, I have thought about that once a month for 4 or 5 years. Just like one of those vinyl regrets. I should have picked it up. And then today, to find a nice, clean copy for $7, I paid a little bit more than $2, or $3 for it. Definitely not complaining, because again, this is like a 60 and up album. But I'm just a little curious about it, because the pictures I've seen online have an advertisement on the back for Crown Records, other records. The back on this one is completely blank. There's nothing on it. I don't know, and it's like pasted on blank, right? Like it's a part of the cover. There's just no advertisement on this. So I don't know. This doesn't seem like a bootleg. Crown Records was a low budget label, so it's possible it just went out with, maybe they released some that didn't get printed on the back, or it was a printing error and it just slipped through. I don't know, but this was definitely the find, and I was just so pumped to have it. It was definitely, it's here, yes, I found it. And I listened to it on Spotify on the way home even, because I was just so pumped about it. Highly recommend checking this out online. Again, it's the 31 Flavors Hair, and if you go to Spotify to listen to it, the album cover art, I'll try to put a picture here. It's the weirdest thing, but anyway, check that out. So side 1 ends with Free Fuzz. That's where it gets crazy, and then side 2 is definitely the side. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, Real Far Out, Free Drum, and Distortions of Darkness. So side 2 is the side for sure to check out, but don't skip on Free Fuzz on side 1. That's a freaky cool track too. So there you go. There's my jaunt to St. Louis today. I was there for about 2 hours. I literally drove there, shopped at Vintage Vinyl for 2 hours, and came back home. So It was good to get to a record store. It was a lot of fun digging, and hopefully, I think Sam and I are going to try to plan to meet up either sometime this week or next and shoot a video, and maybe I'll get the top 10 done in between home projects and stuff. But it feels good to be on vacation, feel very relaxed, and it was good to have a day away. Much appreciated my wife suggesting I go and do that and giving me the time to do it. So, and I'm glad I got to make a video. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll let you go, and we'll see you next time. See ya.